What's going on, everyone? So, San Antonio Spurs. One of the things that I think that they could use is another veteran, right? You have more than enough of a young core, but can you get the savvy vet, can you get the quality vet to kind of help update and kind of help grow some of these young guys, right? Also, I like landing Kelly Olynyk kind of gives you that 4-5 guy that you could slot in alongside Luke Kornet or Victor Wembanyama. Give you some toughness, right? Give you some interior presence. Right? He's not a shy or afraid of contact and whatnot. But I wouldn't hate another kind of 6'9", 6'10" guy that could slot in at the 4 or 5, right? Give you some versatility, give you some floor spacing, and a guy that I've talked about in the past, right? That thought was a little unlikely, still probably is a little unlikely, but it's Al Horford. The original thought was like, okay, Al Horford's going to the Lakers or he's going to Golden State, right? Atlanta was another option, but he still hasn't gone anywhere, still hasn't signed. Now, he could look to retire, just had a kid, right? So he's still kind of weighing his options, but, could you maybe, what does Al Horford want? He got his ring. Does he want to go get another one, right? Does he want to go to a contender? Does he want to kind of, go to a place where he's comfortable, make some money? Especially just got a kid. It's like, hey, make a little change. Hey, can you incentivize Horford on, hey, give you a little extra money than you would anywhere else? Just come in, right? Be a bit of a mentor to our young guys, kind of help some of our young guys out. I think Al Horford would be great for a guy like a Jeremy Sohan. Right? Jeremy Sohan has the defensive versatility, right? But it's the offense, right? Now Horford's ability to stretch the floor, make plays, do a little bit of everything. Al Horford would be a Spurs guy through and through. And so I look at, could you incentivize and entice Al Horford in a way to convince it? He's already got his ring. It's like, you go chase and land another ring. What is that really going to do for your legacy? Yeah, I think it would help his legacy a little bit, but not to, it's not, he's not going to be an all-time, he's already a guy that is looked at as great, potentially a Hall of Famer. We'll see, especially in the NBA. But he's not a guy that's like, oh, now you're going to move in the top 20 all time. You're going to be an all-time great in the sense of the top end guys. No, it's like, another ring would be awesome. Another thing to add to your trophy case. But, do you want to come somewhere where you could kind of help usher in that next wave? Kind of play into, be a mentor, right? Your father, help guide the young men of the next generation. Pay you a little extra for your service, kind of help you in. Hey, do you want a front office job? Do you want something that we can maybe help you integrate into after, right? Give him something to incentivize him with, because I think he would be great for the Spurs. I think a guy that come in, slot in at the 4 or the 5 for you, especially in the NBA does seem to kind of be moving back into too big. You're seeing a lot of teams kind of gear up on centers, and even the Houston Rockets now got several centers, right? Seeing teams really kind of lean into hey, we want to kind of have multiple bigs. So having a Luke Kornet, Kelly Olynyk, and Victor Wembanyama, yeah, that gives you kind of that 3-man group. Wemby can play the 4 if you want him to. Same thing with Kelly Olynyk. But I don't hate bringing in Al Horford. Kind of having Al Horford, right, Kelly Olynyk, Luke Kornet, and Victor Wembanyama as kind of your 4-man power forward center rotation. Guys are going to get nights off because the days of guys playing 82 games is no longer a thing. There are still some guys, but for the most part, it's usually role guys and stuff like that. So if you can convince him to come, slot him in at starting 4, hey, you could start for us. I mean, he'd be great as your starter, right? That way you can kind of, again, lean guys into it. Hey, Jeremy Sohan, I know Jeremy Sohan, anytime I talk about him, he's always I always get kind of these two camps. People that are he's the future, he's the greatest, he's our Dennis Rodman, you can't trade him, even if, I wouldn't even swap him for Giannis type thing, right? Or I get the people that he's trash, get rid of him, he's just not it, right? And I do think it's somewhere in the middle. I do think that he's a very good player. He has plenty of upside and potential still, but I really, the Spurs lack floor spacing and shooting. De'Aaron Fox isn't a great three-point shooter, right? Dylan Harper wasn't a great three-point shooter in college and didn't look like a great three-point shooter in summer league. Stephon Castle wasn't great last year. Victor Wembanyama is streaky. Right? Your best three-point shooter is Harrison Barnes. Even Julian Champagnie started out guns blazing, but then you saw kind of a lot of averages kind of trickle in, and he kind of was streaky and inconsistent at times. Right? So bring in a guy in an Al Horford that now allows you to kind of have that defensive versatility, which the Spurs, I mean, Brian Wright himself said that he really wants to create this defensive identity with this team, especially when Wemby's off the floor, right? Well, Wemby's off the floor, you could have Al Horford and a Luke Cornett out there and have those two kind of slot alongside. You can have a Al Horford and Kelly Olynyk, or an Al Horford and a Victor Wembanyama, right? Al Horford just gives you the flexibility because of his ability to play alongside big men. Slot in at the 4, you can slot him at the 5 at any point. Teams go small. You could have, an Al Horford kind of be your small ball center, and you're still big. You still have that shot block. You still have that defensive versatility. Right? Be a mentor. The more that I think about Al Horford and what place he would be and fit excellent in would be the Spurs. Again, he could go to the Lakers. He could go to, a team like the Golden State Warriors or Atlanta, where, his family's from. Like, I'm not saying like the Spurs are like the best and only option, but I do think it is one of the better options for him. To me, it just, again, kind of boils down to, what does Al Horford want and what is he looking for? Right? Where is Al Horford's headspace at? I mean, if he wants to retire, then fine. He retires and that's that, right? But are you only interested in a championship, like winning a championship? Because Spurs are probably not winning a championship this year, even with Al Horford, right? Or do you want to kind of help continue to build and grow and again, kind of usher in, like, where are you? Are you open to either? I think you at least have that conversation with him. I think you at least kind of extend that, like, hey, where are you at? Like, what are your thoughts? Like, how do you feel about this? Like, and I mean, worst thing he says is no. No, I mean, all I know, Spurs might have already done it. Spurs might have already asked, and he was like, nah, I'm good on it. Like, who knows, right? Just because he's linked somewhere doesn't mean he's not going to sign somewhere else, right? Like, you see it all the time. Guys are linked to this, he's going to these 3 teams, and then he ends up signing with this, and everyone's like, whoa, I thought he was going over here, right? But he's going over here, right? So, obviously, you'd have to incentivize Al Horford in a way to where it would make more sense for him, right? Oh, hey, we want you to start. He can start at other places. He probably starts for the Warriors, right? Like, yeah, I'm coming off the bench, sure. But again, if I'm going to come off the bench, I come off the bench for a team like the Lakers, right? Like, again, there's got to be something that you can kind of, lure him in with. But I think if you can do it, I think you should. I think he fits the need. He helps with the mentorship. Gives you some stability. I mean, there's not very many options that I look at that I think, I mean, as far as free agents go, I don't think there is a better option. But, even on the trade, like, who are you trading for without giving up a bunch of things, right? Like, I just think you look at Al Horford, bring in Al Horford, let him kind of be a stabilizer for this team, give him a starting position, whatever. Just kind of my thoughts. But let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot as we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.